Hello again. Today we're going to be graphing rational functions and stating the domain and range. So let's say I have the rational function y equals 3 over x plus 2. And this is of the form y equals a over x minus h plus k. Well, if we're going to graph this, my first step is going to be to draw the asymptotes. And remember that the asymptotes are x equals h and y equals k. All right, so we'll look at our function over here, and I'll see that h right here, the minus h, is actually a plus 2 in that place. So that means that h is equal to negative 2. So that means that x equals negative 2 is our vertical asymptote. All right, and in the place of k off to the side here in our function, there's nothing. So I will say that this is plus 0. So k is equal to 0. That means that y is equal to 0, and this will be our horizontal asymptote. So now I draw my asymptotes at x equals negative 2. That'll be right there. And my horizontal asymptote will be at y is equal to 0, which is the x-axis. Now I need to pick x values that are on the left side of the vertical asymptote. So I'm going to pick negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, and then I'm going to plug those into 3 over x plus 2 to find my y values. So in the first one I have 3 over negative 5 plus 2. Well, negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. 3 divided by negative 3 is negative 1. Next I have 3 over negative 4 plus 2. So negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. So 3 over negative 2 is negative 3 halves, which is also negative 1 1/2. Next, I will plug in negative 3. So 3 over negative 3 plus 2. Well, negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. So 3 divided by negative 1 is negative 3. So my points on the left side of the horizontal asymptote are going to be negative 5, negative 1, negative 4, negative 1 1/2, and negative 3, negative 3. Now let's find the points on the right side of the vertical asymptote. For my x values, I am going to choose negative 1, 0, and 1. So remember, we're plugging those into 3 over x plus 2 to find our y values. So negative 1 will be the first thing I plug in. So I have negative 1 plus 2. Well, negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 3 divided by 1 is 3. If I plug 0 in, that's 3 over 0 plus 2, which is 3 over 2, which is 1 1/2. And then 3 over 1 plus 2, which is 3. So that's 3 over 3, and that's 1. So my ordered pairs for the right side of the vertical asymptote will be negative 1, 3, 0, 1 1/2, and 1, 1. All right, so now I'll draw my curves. All right, so once you've drawn your curves, make sure you put arrows at the ends to make sure you show that it goes on forever, and make sure it never crosses the vertical asymptote or the horizontal asymptote. And that's how you graph the function y equals 3 over x plus 2. But we need to find our domain and range. So remember that the domain is what x can equal. And it looks like x can equal everything besides x equals negative 2. So I say x cannot equal negative 2. But besides that, the domain is all real numbers. Now let's look at our range, which is what y can equal. And you'll notice that y cannot equal 0. So y cannot equal 0. But besides that, y can equal all real numbers. You'll see that in the function, if we were to make x -2, that would make the bottom of the fraction 0. And we know that we cannot divide by 0 or have a 0 on the bottom of a fraction. There's also no number that you can divide 3 by to make it 0. So that's why the y cannot equal 0. Hope that helps.